Thank you, Ranking Member Waters. And I'll ask the question, Mr. Hill. This resolution, the Ranking Member asked, how come it doesn't condemn Adolf Hitler? How come it doesn't condemn Putin? How come it doesn't condemn Xi? Is there a reason why you left those out? I don't see any reason why. If you're going to be condemning sort of brutal dictators and authoritarianism, why didn't you condemn them?
Well, first, I think Ms. Salazar, in her resolution, let's not forget the conditions that brought her to America, which is a Cuban exile. And so she centers her life experience about Castro's communism, which is a creature of Russia's Soviet communism. And that's at the heart of why she drafted this resolution, because she is a victim, her family's a victim herself of Castro's takeover of that country. And she talks about the death of Ukrainians at the hands of the Soviets in here. So I think she more than satisfactorily addresses some of the examples that are important to her that are the most egregious, some of the most egregious cases, but not exclusively, of the negative impacts of socialism.
So even though Putin is a dictator in Russia right now, he's left out. But what's more concerning is the idea that there is no definition at all, right, of what socialist is. And we've heard on this panel today, people condemn our mayor-elect of New York City, or the mayor-elect of New York City, who ran on an issue of affordability. The idea that we would be condemning somebody who ran on an issue of affordability, of making sure that rents are affordable, that buses work and run on time, that grocery costs are now outrageous. That is the problem. We have had everything from Medicare being a form of socialism to a democratically elected mayor, overwhelmingly democratic elected mayor, being condemned as socialist. And would those fall under that? Because there's no definition. And I think my colleague hit it right. Representative Scanlon pointed out that the frustration that Americans are feeling right now is that the rich are getting richer. And right now we know that 0.1% of households in the United States reached $23.3 trillion last year, while the bottom 50% barely hold 4.2. So what we have right now is a country where the haves keep getting more and where this Congress does not do anything to address that structural imbalance. And when they do, like with the Affordable Care Act, with Medicare, with addressing those issues, it can get condemned as socialist and equivalent to Joseph Stalin and Mao Zedong and Fidel Castro and Pol Pot and these other people, when those policies are just trying to help Americans survive and pay their bills and have health care, which, as we heard on the floor last week, when Leader Jeffries cited Martin Luther King, that access to health care is the most important right ever. And we have people tonight condemning Medicare, which provides health care to our elderly and those who are disabled, as socialist in favor of condemnation. I agree with my colleagues here. This is not what we should be doing. We should be addressing that affordability crisis. Thank you very much.
Would the gentlewoman yield?
Of course.
Does the gentleman think that rent control produces more housing at lower prices for the citizens in New York? Do you think that state control of grocery stores produces more food at lower prices?
Well, that is an issue that the great thing about democracy is that the people of New York City could decide on that, and they have decided that they want to elect somebody who is going to look at addressing these issues, because what is clear is that the system we have now is not working for Americans, that the system we have now is not making rent affordable, and it's not making home ownership available. So the system we have now, where we keep passing policies and passing tax cuts that give trillions to billionaires like you voted for last July, is not working for working Americans. With that, Mr. Chair, I yield back.